Good morning, evening, or night, and welcome to the Jules Conversation. Today joining me is a good friend of mine, Carmen Hershey.
Hey.
Carmen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Excited for the podcast.
I think if you get a chance, and this goes to our listeners, you should definitely listen to the pre-podcast. Tons of fantastic conversations there. Tons.
Yeah, for sure.
Also joining us is Torsi, of course.
Hello.
And Cesar, who's off in the corner.
Yeah,
He's doing audio management.
He might like hop in eventually though.
Yeah.
Or at some point.
He definitely will.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we love Cesar.
Carmen, tell us about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm a freshman here at Loyola. I'm from Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania. I'm studying public health and minoring in Spanish, although I'm not that good at it yet, so don't ask me to speak Spanish. I have a few lines, but just excited to be here. That's such like an NPC comment.
No, we're so glad to have you.
No, thank you. Yeah. And definitely listen to the pre-podcast, guys. So, yeah.
You get more Carmen content with that, just saying. And that in and of itself is fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Anyways, you said Central Pennsylvania, and the first thing I thought of was like Sin Pin. Is that a thing?
What?
Like, do you guys call yourself Sin Pin?
I hope not. I mean, I don't, but yeah.
I mean, what is there? What do you do up there?
Okay, so Pennsylvania is actually, I'm a Pennsylvania advocate. I do love New Orleans a lot. Like, it's where I'm supposed to be. I feel very happy. I guess I've come to love Pennsylvania more in retrospect, like having been away from it. But I mean, my hometown is pretty close to, it's like a few hours from New York City, from DC, from Baltimore, all these places. It's also halfway between Philly and Pittsburgh. So, there's lots of history, lots of colonial history and stuff like that, and culture, of course. Not in the same way as there is in the South, obviously, but, So, I mean, my hometown's like a small historic town. Fun fact, I had this conversation with Jules the other day, actually, how my hometown is the highest that the Southern Army came during the Civil War. So you could make the argument that everything below Carlisle, Pennsylvania is the South. But I don't think Southerners would latch on to that idea very much because Jules doesn't even believe North Carolina is the South, I guess. But
respectfully, North Carolina is not
the South. Okay.
Please, I cannot have this debate any longer.
I feel like this is really good to have here. I mean,
so there you go. That's Carlisle, Pennsylvania for you. I definitely don't like the cold, though, so very glad to be back.
I mean, we're going through like a really weird cold phase right now, though.
It's not the same. 50 degrees is not the same as 20 degrees. And it's even worse up like in Maine and like New Hampshire and Vermont and all those places,
I mean, to us Southerners, this is huge. Like, what was it, last year in Houston when we had snow for a day?
Oh, yeah.
Everything shut down.
Yeah,
Are
isn't
you
it
serious?
snowing again in Houston right now?
It is snowing right now.
Yeah, y'all lost your shit last year. It was kind of funny.
Crazy.
But climate change.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was driving back, because I drove back for this semester, it was snowing pretty heavily in Tennessee, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
We live in that world. We live in that world. How do you feel about climate change?
I mean, it's real. I mean, if you want me to like deny it on the podcast, get canceled. No, it's definitely real. I mean, we got to fix that shit. You know what I mean? But it's obviously at the hands of the big corporations because I feel like there's all this guilt that's put on the consumers. You know what I mean? Like, oh, use paper straws or all this. But it's really like the huge companies that are like causing the most waste that are polluting the environment the worst, but like we as the consumers are blamed when like we really I mean, of course, everyone making small changes does have an impact, you know what I mean, but like I mean there's really the big people at the top that are causing the problem much worse than we are, you know what I mean? So You feel me?
No, I like what you just said because one of my favorite arguments to make is if I walk outside and drop a plastic bottle on the ground, it means something and it means nothing at the same time.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, am I really doing something?
Yeah.
Like, in comparison to everyone else?
True.
Weird.
But then if everyone thinks that way, then they impact. Yeah, so, so that's my opinion on climate change, but it's definitely real, so.
Dorsey, you have any
She's got
comments
a cough.
about
My comment is my cough. No. I often especially
Why is he laughing? Sorry.
Yeah,
Why is Cesar laughing?
you are so charming for what?
He's playing some kind of video game.
Keep playing Clash of Clans.
But no.
Oh, okay, Plants vs.
But I'm
Zombies.
definitely laughing at.
Oh, of course. Oh, baby.
Lol.
No, but all of our friends constantly get on my case because I don't eat red meat, and I mostly try to eat vegetarian, but I have to eat chicken because I'm anemic, or else I wouldn't get enough protein.
I feel you.
But I don't eat red meat or pigs, and all of my friends constantly are like, "You're not doing anything by not doing that." I'm like, "Yeah, me alone is not like necessarily reducing carbon emissions from cows, but me and the 50 other vegetarian people that go to our school are like that's the difference."
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I'd say I follow like similar diet as that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Nah, I eat red meat. I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah,
No.
one time Jules was like, "I don't eat cows," and their favorite food is cheesesteak, so that was good. And I was like, "Yeah, you do," and they were like, "I sure don't."
oh my
and
gosh.
like really tried to argue with me.
Were they
about
serious?
it. Yeah, like
Oh
they
my
fully.
gosh.
They were like, we were having a talk, and I was like, "Yeah, like I don't
Fully
eat
did
red
not
meat
believe
and
it.
pigs," and they were like, "I don't eat cows," and I was like, "You eat cheesesteaks," and they were like, "Yeah, but that's not cow." And I was like, "Okay."
I feel like it's different. Like I don't go out of my way to go to a steakhouse.
Right. Or to have steak. I mean, personally though, I mean, I'm not going to say I never eat it. You know what I mean? But I feel like sometimes just a good steak, it just like it feels very human almost to just be like tearing into a piece of meat and you're like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like literally, yeah.
Yeah, high five.
Yeah. Scorpios.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You're being stripped of my title now. What the
Oh yeah,
hell?
sorry.
What the hell?
Sorry, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so respect that though. Anyways,
I kind of like your comment on it almost makes us human to eat meat.
yeah, I'm all for being human. I can just. Why is he?
Why are you
laughing?
laughing? Cesar, do you want to come on the mic and
Yeah,
say something?
Cesar, I did so good at being quiet yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
and you're just
Say
like,
what you gotta say, Cesar.
Here you go, baby boy.
I definitely see how it might make you feel more human to eat meat, but also that's it.
He kind of gets it.
Me when
Well-
Cesar is perfect.
Well, may I elaborate?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't know. I think in many ways every day we stray from being human. You know, I bring this up all the time, the people that I'm with a lot. But back home, I'm a waitress at a Himalayan restaurant, specifically Nepalese and Bhutanese. And there aren't really very many restaurants of that kind in the United States, at least. You know, there's Indian food, which is Himalayan food, obviously, but like not Nepal and Bhutan specifically. But the chef is Bhutanese. Bhutan, if you don't know, it's a very isolated culture. Like, they don't really have diplomatic relationships with very many other countries. To be an American there, it costs like $300 a day just to be there. Because they don't want Americans fucking up their shit. And I'm like, I feel you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
why
no.
would you? It's a very beautiful, little oasis, pretty much. Not without its problems, of course, but you know what I mean? So, but the chef is Bhutanese. Shout out to him. But, in the Himalayan mountains, it's common for people to eat with just their hands. You know, like even soup, they mix with rice and like just pick it up and eat it with their hands. And so that's how he eats his dinner every night that he cooks. And he cooks dinner for everyone at the restaurant, for everyone that's working at the restaurant, which is just a few employees. It's pretty small. But I'm thinking like people are so weird, especially Westerners, about like other people eating with their hands, like for things that we don't designate as finger food. But like Americans are okay eating burgers and wings and ribs with their hands. And I'm like, think about it. Why the hell do we have hands other than to pick shit up?
Literally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think just like when I sit with him, he like crouches as he eats, and like I just sit with him and we just like eat this food with our hands, and it's just so beautiful. It's like you're just like living as like you're intended to. You know what I mean? Like why the fuck do we use forks? You know? I mean, don't get me wrong. I like eat with silverware. He's
Why are
cracking
you
up.
cracking up?
He's
Why do we
cracking
use
up.
forks? No, but
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, I use forks like regularly, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something just so grounding and human, just like literally touching your food, and you can't like go on your phone or anything. And am I
Yeah.
making any sense?
No, Jules
Yeah.
knows this, but I'm actually on a not using silverware kick for the most part.
Hell
like,
yeah.
I use it to like stir shit up because I don't like getting sticky. But for the most
Yeah.
part, I've been eating with my hands, and I definitely enjoy it. I don't like.
What's the reason?
There really wasn't one. At some point over break, I was just like, man, I just feel like eating with my hands, and then it kind of never went away.
I respect that literally so much. You know what I mean?
I'm about to say I'm an avid silverware user.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
No, it's fine. I don't judge. Don't get
I'm
me
sorry
wrong.
that you're
There
a
he
loser.
is.
Oh.
Quick comment. I literally use a fork to eat fries.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lol.
he really does.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. I don't judge. Like it's just the way we were raised and stuff like that. And I'm not, but you know what I'm saying. So
I feel like, for me at least, I have like a really weird like touch thing. Like I love eating things I love doing things with my hands. Like that is inherently human to me. But it's like if I touch food, I like start getting in my head. I'm like, where have your hands been today? Even if I like just sanitize or wash my hands, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, no, that's definitely I get that. But
not to like diss either. No. Like, all for it.
You're good. I totally get that. I mean, I just make sure to wash your hands. I guess.
Yeah,
before you
absolutely.
I always make sure to, but just like because then we go in and we gotta pick up the same fork as everyone.
Especially at Loyola,
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what the doorknobs have seen.
True.
But so that's my thought, and I guess just like tearing into a piece of meat, even with your hands. Like my mother made this delicious like roast beef, like just a big beef roast for Christmas, and I would just like hack off these huge pieces and just be like like I'm just tearing this meat and shoving it in my mouth. I'm just such like a human, you know what I mean? So So, anyways, that's that thought.
Where do you think we are most human in the world?
Ooh, like geographically?
Yeah, geographically.
Geographically, thanks. I'm gonna have to think about that. What do you think?
But for me, it's definitely Greece, and
Why is
that's
that?
because I think being a human is all about creating and like
Mm-hmm.
art. And when I think back to, I'm thinking more ancient Greece, but Greece is what Greece is. Like that whole society was built on like the concept of like a higher being. Whether not to say that having a higher being is art, but like having all these like stories that you're making, and being that like primitive in anything, just like being built. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting thought. What do you think, Torsi?
I don't know. I feel like I don't like. Generally, I think of humanity through evolution, and I don't know that you can differ like the level of evolution that we're at. So I feel like I'll have an answer if I think about it, but like off the top of my head, there's not one that like pops in.
Right. Yeah, me neither. It's difficult because honestly, it is. Here's something that keeps me up at night. It is frustrating the fact that I will never like get to see how every human lives in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll never get to go to we will never get to go to every country, and even if I like theoretically could, like they're within each country, like just the difference between the way the poor live and the way the rich live is just insanely different. You know what I mean? So I can never truly see like how each person lives their life. You know what I mean? But like the world is so big. Even coming to New Orleans from Pennsylvania, I'm like, holy shit, like this country's so big and I've not even gone like halfway across it pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so just being around, and obviously there are lots of like out of state students here and just people from all different backgrounds that would not have been the case if I had gone to like my state school maybe. Penn State, ugh. But that's another conversation. But it just kind of frustrates me how like I'll never get to like be able to see or understand how every human lives. So I don't know. It's hard to say like or if it's necessarily fair to say like which area on Earth is the most human. But I definitely feel like being connected to the Earth and the food and like the creativity, just the primal instincts of humans is very very grounding.
My best friend, and I swear this is related.
No, yeah, it's your show.
Well, it's a conversation.
Yeah, true,
everyone
but
is equal here.
But you take the lead.
My best friend, like his whole philosophy on like life as it is that we aren't really living now, but when we like in quotes die, there is this void, and once we're in that void, you just kind of like go on to the next person. So it's kind of like reincarnation, but it's not, because he kind of sees life as like this thing where life itself isn't what we're doing now, but it's what happens after in this void where we're like reflect on what we just did. Time to move on to the next thing.
Right.
And with that, I think like, wow, yeah, like experiencing or like being able to see or like even interpret how everyone sees things or how everyone lives is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
Kind of overwhelming, don't you think?
It's extremely overwhelming.
Not in like a bad way necessarily, but it's just like, wow, we all just have different lives, but we're all the same. Shit.
I mean, we all originated from one thing, assumably. So
yeah.
Yeah.
True. Good question.
Thank you.
God.
Wow.
Just around.
Yeah, literally. And we're already 30 minutes in. I mean, we'll take half of that off for the pre-show.
The pre-show. Check out the pre-show, by the way, guys. Just gonna
Hey
get
guys,
that
I
out
don't,
of
know, I don't know if you've heard about the pre-show, but it's pretty banger.
It's pretty banger.
Literally. Yeah.
Cesar needs to check out the pre-show as well because he wasn't here for it.
Oh yeah, that was all just like bashing you. We just talked.
Yeah, all we
about
did
it.
was go, man,
Fuck
Cesar sucks
Cesar.
so bad.
Literally
I bet-
such an
I
asshole.
bet he I bet he is dumb probably. That's all we said.
He's probably dumb.
pretty dumb.
He's playing Clash of Clans right now.
He is pretty dumb then.
Yep.
Oh, he's playing Plants vs.
Wait.
Plants vs Zombies. All
Okay.
right.
Well, good for you.
No. That's actually the most intellectual game you could play. That and Wizard 101. That's it. That's the peak.
Hey, Carmen, you did theater.
Oh, did I do theater?
What was that like?
Okay, before I say anything about that, I'm just gonna say, why is the theater department in Monroe next to like the science department? Kind of throws me off.
It's very strange.
It is, and here's why. Here's how I noticed. I went down a wrong hallway or something when I was on my way to my lab, and I accidentally walked by the theater department, and I got extremely triggered. Like I was like, I cannot, you know what I mean? Like it made me upset in my body. But theater is fun. I did do it in high school. Do you want me to talk about my roles and
Go
stuff?
ahead.
Okay. Okay, so in high school, I was Frenchie in Greece, which was a good show. We made a lot of money. Lots of drama, though, as there naturally is.
Yeah, as theater
Both of you
departments.
know that.
Yeah.
And then my junior year, which is the last one before COVID, I was Velma Kelly in Chicago, which, yeah, I'll show you photos. I think
Yes.
Jules has seen All That Jazz. I showed them, but pretty saucy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. Our choreographer had worked on the touring company and stuff for Broadway, but but it was low-key a very traumatizing experience. I injured myself. It wasn't like a major injury, but it was enough to stress me out. It probably stressed me out too much. Here's the thing. People tell me I'm good at theater, and I do think I am good at it. But it's extremely stressful for me. I have terrible stage fright, and I'm my own worst critic. Are you the same way?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, are you the same way, Torcy?
Yeah.
Where I have this vision in my head of perfection that I will never be able to achieve, and that literally is my tormentor. It tortures me. You know what I mean? Thinking like, I think, oh, if I had not injured my leg or something. Again, it wasn't like a major injury that threatened the show or anything like that. But I had to be careful for a little bit. Yeah. So that show was very stressful for me. It was also my first time having a lead role, and it was one of my first shows. You know what I mean? Theater was something that, again, I think I'm good at, and it kind of came naturally to me at the time. I don't know if that's the case because it's been several years. But yeah. But it was just very difficult, also since the choreographer had this vision of perfection in his mind of what the show is, he was very hard on us, which I think to a certain extent you need. Mm-hmm. You can't, you're not supposed to just be complimented all the time or just told that, it's okay that you fucked up badly. You know what I mean? You need discipline, but sometimes it can hurt your feelings, but anyways, I don't know. I'm probably just rambling about that. But Chicago was very fun. It's still my favorite musical, probably. Yeah, I mean, I'll show Torcy photos later and Cesar.
I also did Chicago. So
Wait,
I'll
are
show
you serious?
pictures, yeah.
Oh my gosh! Did you have a role?
I didn't have a named role, but I was the person that at the end of the show, after Roxy's trial, runs in and is like, "You guys got to see this. There was a divorce action in the." I still remember that.
My God.
It's engraved in my little brain.
God damn.
But yeah, that was a rough show for us too. But
really?
Yeah,
it end up good though?
It was an incredible production. It was just it was the same thing where it was so much actual drama and nightmare behind the scenes shit. But the show itself was one of the best my school ever put on, I think.
Same,
Yeah.
honestly. This year my school's doing something about a spelling bee.
the
Like
25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
something like that.
Yeah, mine is doing Mamma Mia.
Are you
middle high
serious?
School, yeah.
Oh my god.
Susical here, sorry.
Susical.
Yeah.
That's the winner there.
No, they hate us. Literally, Shayna and I have been begging. Shayna's my best friend at home. We've been begging to do Mamma Mia for 3 years. So the year we left, they were like, "Hey guys, guess what?" Like our theater teacher texted us and was like, "Please don't kill me."
Oh my god. So yeah, that's my story, but yeah. But it's kind of funny because my theater kid just kind of pops out every once in a while.
Oh, I feel it.
Well, yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah, really. So
Yeah, you sure do.
oh my gosh. Lol. But yeah, so that's my experience with theater. I've done some like Zoom shows since then, but I've not it like Chicago just took a lot out of me, you know? And yeah. Anyways, and yeah, the choreographer kind of like, I don't think he intended to, but he kind of like pitted me and Roxy against each other. I mean, like it wasn't like super dramatic because we did not buy into it, but like he would be like, "Oh, Carmen's gonna outshine you in this role if you don't do this," or like, you know, or like the girl that's Roxy, she's gonna like outshine you in this if you don't do this. I'm like, it's not about that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even think the characters barely like interact.
Yeah,
that
they
much.
have like the one song together.
Exactly,
not
but
much
they
besides
don't even
that.
like really have dialogue together. I
Yeah.
don't think. But anyway, so there you go. That's my story. Thoughts on that, or things to add on? Like, I'm sure you guys have your fair share of traumatizing theater experiences.
Oh,
Yeah, go off, Jules.
yeah, that was a very, very visual response.
So one of probably my second major role I've ever had was man in chair in The Drowsy Chaperone.
Okay.
And the basic gist of what he does is he sits in a chair in the corner of the stage and sits there for the entire show and narrates over it.
Oh my god.
And so halfway through the show, I start seeing, because in the corner of my eye, we have a little door area, and then right behind it, you can see like into like the green room, sort of. Is the green room the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the dressing room, sort of. Yeah. And I see everyone panicking, and I'm like, what is happening? And so lo and behold, I learned this after the show. On stage, the door to like the fridge had broke, and that's like a main entrance and exit. So halfway, like I'm talking, and this door is just completely open and like creaking, and they keep trying to fix it behind the stage, and like, I didn't know. So I'd get reactions from the audience, and I'd be like, I didn't say anything. I just mentioned like Cole Porter or whatever. Like, what are y'all laughing at? And yeah, so that was a huge anxiety moment for me, just like not realizing what they're laughing at or like what they're reacting to, because like
Right.
acting is about the reactions, in my opinion.
And you were a director also.
I was a director.
Ugh.
This was a little bit after this time, though.
Okay. Damn. What about you, Torcy?
This is more of like an actual nightmare, but so
Okay, fine.
no. I mean, like, okay, so I grew up in Colorado, which is
Okay.
relevant to this story because school shootings are like a very frequent thing in Colorado, unfortunately, and a lot of like the bigger school shootings have happened there. So it was 2 nights before. Cesar just said, "Take that, liberals!" If you couldn't hear him, I feel like we should expose him for that one.
Oh my god.
So it's like it's 2 days before we did this play called Lost Girl, which is like Wendy after Peter Pan left her was the premise, and I was one of the lost boys. I also for our conversation earlier, which we can get back to, but I did live as a transgender man for like a year.
Interesting.
So that was in that, it was like the end of that time kind of. But it was like 2 days before our opening night, and we had to kick out 2 of our main leads. And then this woman, one of the main leads, I'm not going to say her name, but she was very much a white spiritual woman, and not in a good way. Like, she didn't really know what she was talking about, but was very liberal with like, I'm open with the invite, and like very much wanted to give advice that she had no business giving. So on our opening night, we like came in, and the agreement was that they got kicked out of the show, but they still had to come like watch us and like basically like write a performance like review kind of thing. So it's our opening night, and these 2 girls come back and tell our theater teacher that one of them had a dream that there was a shooting during our play. And our theater teacher is yeah, and then the problem with that was that earlier in the school day, because this was like on a Thursday or Friday night, earlier in the school day there had been like reports of like a sketchy guy walking around, so we were like, fuck. So it's like our opening night, and it's my best friend that was going on that night, and she was like having a panic attack because she was like, what are we supposed to do right now? And then so our theater teacher's like panicking, and she's like trying to rush these two idiots out of the room, like, stop fucking talking. And they just won't shut up, and they're like visibly panicked, but you can tell they're faking it, but not everyone can tell that. So then we like walk outside, and there is a guy with a big ass trench coat, like just sitting outside of our school, and we're like, oh my god. And I'm kind of an asshole, so I was like, if they're fucking right, I'm gonna be so goddamn mad.
A little bit.
I was like on top of everything else and like tragedy, like I'm gonna be so fucking pissed if she's right. As it turns out, it was like a parent, and everything was fine. And we went on. There was like our theater teacher called the police. The guy was like just a random homeless guy. Everything was fine. But it was like it was the biggest drama ever for no reason. So like we all, like, the entire first act, you could tell that like everyone on stage was kind of like
scared,
like physically like tensed up, but the performance went great. So it was actually fine, but it was like the most ridiculous, outlandish thing that was like
that
insane.
one wins. That wins.
Wow.
Yeah,
Shit.
Colorado thing.
Was it like a JD type like trench coat, or like,
It
what
was
are you talking?
brown, but it was like to the floor almost. It was great. It was
Damn.
weird.
Sketch.
Yeah, and Homeboy was just cold because it was October in
Colorado.
But like, yeah,
Can't relate, unfortunately.
yeah,
Sorry.
Damn.
Texas.
Kind of going on theater still. I think we have a great group to talk about theater with. A big thing for me is what. Hey.
This is our angrily flipping off Jules for some goddamn reason.
I never did theater.
Oh,
You never did
Oh
theater?
my gosh.
We talked about this yesterday. Check out the last podcast, guys.
I think that might have been in podcast zero.
Oh, episode
Yeah, 'cause
0.
Stan's theme.
Oh, even better. I'd really like to, because you said, yes, you said that it really like kind of triggered you that the theater and the science building are together. Mm-hmm. What's that about? Like dive deep. Let me get into the mind of Carmen here.
My psyche for psychoanalyzing me. Yeah, I'm down for it. Well, honestly, like, it just kind of shocked me because I'm going to my science lab. Why am I passing the theater department? Why is this triggering me? It's also just kind of funny because they're just like so different. Like, they're so different. You know what I mean? But I guess for me, definitely a lot of my internal turmoil comes from the fact that I don't feel like I can dedicate myself to one discipline. You know, like, you are studying theater. You are studying film. You know, I love both of those things so much. I wouldn't say I love anything more than theater or film, but I feel that way about most of my interests. I don't love anything more than theater or music. Like, I like to play the guitar and sing. I love science equally. I love law. I love literature. I love English. You know what I mean? I love all that shit. And so it's kind of like stressful for me because it's like, well, what the fuck do I do? You know what I'm saying? Because I need all of those things in my life to be fulfilled, you know? And the thought of, like, choosing one is very scary to me, but sometimes I want that. You know what I mean? Like, I really admire people, like a musician that can dedicate themselves to playing, like, the piccolo or something for their whole life.
Yeah, see,
Or,
now,
like-
yeah, this is what keeps me up at night because
Yeah.
like, I'm a film major, but like the idea of doing film and only film for the rest of my life is like
It scares
like
you.
makes me insane. But like, man, like I feel better being in something than not being in something. But I'm always like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the beautiful thing about life, though, is that you can choose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But me and my friend have this discussion a lot. Shout out to Angel. Can I do shout outs?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, shout out to Angel. But, you know, she mentions how, like, in medieval times or whatever, you know, like blacksmiths or something, they would like apprentice when they were a kid.
Yeah.
And then they would train to be a blacksmith and be a blacksmith for the rest of their life. That shit happens in trade, like trade industries now. But, you know, I don't think a lot of things in the United States at least happen to like that scale anymore, where people literally dedicate their one thing, literally only one thing for their entire life. I mean, that sounds like hell, but it's like I said, it's almost beautiful. Like people that are capable of dedicating themselves to, like I said, the piccolo or being a painter, or they could only ever be a lawyer or something like that. You know, I respect that, but my thought also is that people like, I think also it's sometimes, I don't want to say it's better, but I do think it is also very good to be a well-rounded person, because sometimes those people that can only dedicate themselves to one thing. They could only ever be, have one profession their whole life or one path their whole life. Those people are not always well-rounded. You know what I mean? It's like, I think I heard that Roger Federer or something is only capable of having conversations about tennis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like it's important to have other insights about other things. Like it's beautiful that you care so deeply about something, but it's like life is not just that one thing, and like just also like being at the school where there are lots of like different people, obviously. I mean, it's a music arts heavy school, obviously, but like there are also plenty of people that I've met in the bio department, etc., where it's like, yeah, Cesar, who's just a baddie, poli-sci, right? Yeah, but just seeing people with different interests in different things, and it's like I feel like a lot of people in their own little cliques, like their own little departments, they just kind of stay within that. But I think it's so important to surround yourself with people that are different from you, that have different interests from you. We connect because you can connect with people over everything. Like I can connect with you, both of you, over theater. You know what I mean? I connect with Cesar about whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? I don't know how we met. Wait, we were talking about Cien Años de Soledad. That's a whole other story. Yeah, jump in.
Do you remember how you met?
Yes, I do. I remember the day now, yeah.
You remember the day?
Not the exact day, but I remember the night. But you tell the story.
I don't remember who I was going with.
Landon, maybe? Wait, can I say that person's name? Can I say other people's names? I don't know.
I think, it was Landon, a friend of ours. And we were in the... You want to play the game for me? You gotta go crazy. He was doing laundry, and then we were going back up to our dorm floor, and he's like, "Oh, Carmen," and I had heard of Carmen before through other people, but I didn't know it was like this Carmen, and I just sat down and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And then we started talking about Cien Años de Soledad, which is Carmen's favorite Spanish book.
I guess I've read it in English, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't read it in Spanish. I'm not that good yet. I'd like to. I asked your roommate.
Yeah.
Wait, should I say his name?
Yeah.
Okay, well, shout out to Gabo.
Gabo.
I asked his roommate if he... I asked his roommate if he had it in Spanish, and he said not legally. And I'm like, what does that
What does that mean? We're going to get him on a list. Hold up.
Yeah. But, yeah, anyways, go on.
Yeah. That's how me and Carmen met over a book and Spanish, but I like to believe that our friendship goes farther than that.
It definitely does.
So
we have a lot in common, I think.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Aw, Cesar. Anyways, he wants his Plants vs. Zombies back.
I'm sorry, I started playing BitLife.
Oh my god.
Wait, what were we talking about? Oh, I guess like being around people that are different from you.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on that, but that's just a thought. I'm really opening up to you guys. I hope you don't mind.
We love it, yeah.
Thanks. But yeah, it's important to surround yourself with people that are different from you, but you can find common ground in anybody. You know what I mean? So with literally anybody. And that's the beautiful thing about being human. As I said earlier, like it's frustrating because every human is so different. Not frustrating, but kind of overwhelming that every human is so different, but it's also like you literally can be, like don't be friends with someone that's literally like an asshole or like does not goes against like what you believe is I don't know, but you know what I'm saying, but like you can share something with everybody, I think. Yeah.
I mean, we have a very like interest-wise very diverse friend group of like, I mean, I guess regular diversity too, but we have a very like almost none of us are the same major except for two of them, but like there's a lot of like diversity in our interests, and we all find stuff to love each other about.
You learn about it. Yeah.
I don't think I know a single other film major that I'm like close to.
Really?
Our manager and sponsor of this podcast is going to lose their mind.
Who is
I
that?
love him so very. I love Oliver so very dearly. But we're not close. We're not besties yet. Keyword yet, Oliver.
Wait,
I'm
what do you
coming
mean
for your ass.
sponsor?
It means nothing.
Wait, Oliver, does he have a mustache?
No, that's Quinn. Quinn is who Oliver is always with.
Okay, I might have complimented Quinn's mustache today in the OR.
Is he kind of blonde?
Yeah,
that's
and I was
Quinn.
like, you have a nice mustache. And then my other friend was like, yeah, do you brush your mustache? And he said, yeah. Or they said, yeah.
I also talked to Quinn about his mustache
I love
today.
Quinn. Yeah, but
Quinn.
Oliver kind of sponsors us. If at any time they kind of came out to me when this was more of an idea. They're like, if you need anything, like I can help you set it up. I can do this and this. So they were like kind of my like biggest supporter at that time.
Oh my
for getting this
God.
out there.
Wow. By the way, where will this be? Like, where is this podcast found?
Super good question. Wow.
I'm gonna need you to. I'm a bit too dumb for that question.
Hi, as the audio manager, I think probably Spotify eventually, but I don't know where else.
Oh
That's
my
one to
gosh.
push.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're about to be the biggest podcast on Spotify.
Yeah. Hank Green, we're coming for your
Fuck
ass.
Joe Rogan.
Respectfully.
Also, literally, fuck Joe Rogan. Like,
Yeah, no, actually.
No, actually, fuck him. I love Neil Young.
Neil Young.
I stand with Neil. Wait, didn't you hear?
No, what happened?
Wait, you heard about it?
Yeah.
Did you hear about it?
Cannot go into specifics. Though.
Neil Young and Joni Mitchell removed their music from Spotify because Joe Rogan is spreading misinformation about vaccines and stuff.
Yes,
like
yes.
that.
Yeah, the
So
Spotify
fuck you, Joe Rogan. So there's no Neil Young
Yeah.
or Joni Mitchell. Thoughts on Joni Mitchell, guys?
I
You don't
love
have to
Joni
answer
Mitchell.
that. Okay,
I also I'm not prepared to give anything about him.
fair enough. Fair enough. Anyways, just a thought.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'd really like to. I mean, you can find this on YouTube and on Twitter at
Mm-hmm.
Jules Conversation. But I'd really like to. I don't want to put it on Spotify until I'm 100% sure this is where I want to take the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Because right now it's called the Jules Conversation because it was supposed to be more one-on-one. But I love the fact that I have two of my best friends in here who have been here. I mean, even though it's
Since
second
day
episode,
one.
since
Day
one.
one since
Yesterday.
yesterday.
But I'd really like I know Torzy's going to be here for the remainder of the podcast. I hope Cesar will be here for the remainder of the podcast. And with that, I feel like it is wrong for me, and I don't feel right calling it the Jules podcast. I'd rather call it the conversation with
Jules.
like Jules Granger or
Yeah.
with whatever name we come up with.
Yeah.
And then that be what is published compared to this to Jules Conversation.
This is so sexy.
love
We're
that.
having meeting time, but live.
Yes, this is very sexy,
Yeah.
guys. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
You know,
I know. Did you like the mood lighting?
I love it in here.
Can we turn it down? It gets really, really intense.
Yeah, Cesar.
I'm light manager, I guess.
Yeah, light manager.
He's everything manager.
Whoever's not talking is
turn
in
it
charge of
Is the
everything.
manager.
Just off.
He's our roadie.
Oh my god,
All right,
Cesar. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
what we
Okay.
meant.
This is
Spookiness.
Spooky. I was just talking about dimming it, but I like this better.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna say both Torcy and Jules look good, so I can't see them as well now. But
We
it's
are
okay.
a room full of very pretty people.
Yeah, y'all
right
are
now.
just sexy as fuck.
Man.
Like honestly,
I mean, your
Honestly.
energy is so I want to use the word beautiful here. I think your energy is beautiful, and I would like to know what you believe beauty is.
oh my god. Well, thank you. It honestly means so much to be complimented like that. You know. More on that. Actually, I'll just say I don't know. Do you guys ever personally struggle with the way you're perceived sometimes?
Absolutely.
constantly.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about in the pre-podcast, how we, we worry about being a bad person. Am I a bad person? You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. Anyways, so it means a lot when, I'm complimented genuinely like that. Everyone loves to be complimented, Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Cesar?
that. We're holding
Cesar,
hands
yeah.
Cesar,
we're
get
having
in
a little
this.
kumbaya moment.
Second time in the
Kumbaya.
podcast. We're
I
really
know,
going on.
we're really-
I love
we're
this.
really
No,
loving
but
each other
literally,
today.
literally, guys, I'm very, very grateful to be here, and I really am enjoying this a lot. So thank you.
We are so happy to have you.
Quick anecdote.
Ooh,
He's back.
Catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
Oh yeah, wait.
what was it?
Context first. Carmen.
what's
Cesar declared yesterday that his catchphrase is a quick anecdote. Twice.
Quick anecdote.
I think Jules will ask me a question, and I'll be like, "Wait a minute, quick anecdote," and I'll tell a story. But quick anecdote was 2 weeks ago. We were playing We're Not Really Strangers, and one of the questions was "What is one thing you admire about me or something?" Or I think
it
it
was
was.
yeah.
But I think what Jules said about me was I like the way Cesar like their charisma or the way they carry themselves. I think that's what it was.
They are so. I said, gregariously.
Yeah,
charismatic.
gregariously charismatic. And I was like, oh, that's such a sweet thing to say. But yeah, that was it.
Shout out to the gregarious, charismatic guy.
Cesar. Great
Cesar,
anecdote.
Gregariously charismatic. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You were also, Carmen, I must say, you are very charismatic.
Am I? Thank you.
You seem so natural, and I think that's why I'm wow, what is happening here? I feel so enraptured in this.
Yeah, same. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I just think I do definitely have my anxieties and stuff like that. But I do find it very fulfilling to just see the beauty. I just see the beauty in you people, in you guys. You know what I mean? And it's very valuable to connect with you. And I think connecting with humans. Your question was, what is beauty to me? Mm-hmm. Beauty to me is the idea that everything is connected and that there's value in everything and every person. You know what I mean? I see the value in you, and so it's very, I don't know. I'm just kind of blabbing, but you know what I mean? Hold on, let me think. Let me try to articulate clearly. But yeah, there is value in every person, and so as I said earlier, you can connect with anybody you can find common ground with anybody, and I guess that's I could cry about how beautiful it is, the fact that everything. There's something behind everything, if that makes any sense. Behind this table, there's multiple people behind this table that I'm touching right now. Someone who designed it, there's people involved in literally everything. And then there's nature, of course, which is, whole other thing, whatever you believe with that. But you know what I mean? Everything has an ancient lineage that dates back to the beginning of time. Even basic shit like the table or this water bottle. You know what I mean? And that's beauty to me. And, that is what I think makes my life very fulfilling, but it does get lonely sometimes because it's sometimes, I was talking about this with another close friend of mine, shout out to Nick, but how it gets lonely sometimes because the second you look in the mirror, you're alone for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? The second you have consciousness, because we can express ourselves to each other in ways that, we hope are genuine. But we never truly know how each other think. We never truly can see the inner workings of each other's brains. You know what I mean? Yeah. I see your personality. You see mine and stuff like that. But I am the only person that really understands my brain, and you're the same way. Mm-hmm. But so that's kind of lonely sometimes, where it's sometimes I feel some things are best to be experienced by yourself, because there's no way you could ever be with someone that truly feels exactly the same way about something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess. Wait, he's cracking up.
What?
Cesar. I probably sound like I'm high. I promise I'm not.
No, that's so funny.
Or
because
drunk.
You told me this exact same thing, verbatim, 2 days ago, and the context was LSD or something. And I was I think it was would you ever do shrooms or LSD? And you're I think it would have to be alone, because I think I'd have to I think you would get more enjoyment out of taking it alone. I think that was what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that, for the record.
No, that's not happening.
That's not gonna happen. That was just a hypothetical, hypothetical experience. But yes, another fun fact: I do tend to repeat myself. Because I forget who I tell things to. So I'm sorry, Cesar, that I just repeated our conversation.
I think it kind of makes it genuine, though.
Really? Is it okay to repeat yourself? That's another thing I spiral about.
I think so.
Okay, but
I mean, if you're truly if you're truly real about yourself with something.
Yeah, I just want to get my point across. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, so that is beauty to me. I don't know if that makes any sense. I probably sound like I'm...
No, it did.
What I mean?
It was you, and that's beautiful in and of itself.
Thank you. But I guess that's beauty to me. What about you?
Ooh. Beauty to me is, and I'm going to use the word love.
Oh.
And I mean not love as in human-on-human contact. I mean love as in enjoying anything. Yeah. When I look at plants, I was a botany major before this. When I look at plants, I say plants are beautiful. And I say that because I want to believe that plants are in love with how things are for them. And they are in love with just being, or just existing, being a part of the universe somehow. Mm-hmm. But then there's also another love. There's a beauty in the fact that I love plants that much to make that assumption. And then there's a beauty in the fact that the universe, assuming the universe gave this to me, has given me the thought process to create that. That is, beauty is such a, I can't summarize it in one line. It's just a constant love for love for love for love.
Wow.
Way to quote Lynn there.
Is that what Lynn said?
It's pretty damn close.
Wait. Oh,
what?
Yeah. Oh, his Tony's speech?
Yeah,
oh my god.
No!
You are such a theater kid.
I didn't even.
Oh goodness.
For the records,
Yeah. Wow.
never listened to his acceptance speech. I want that on the records. That was all Jules.
I'll show you later.
All Jules.
But no, it's funny. You just like subconscious. Lynn is like so deeply ingrained within our culture, within our society, within every theater kid. There's Lynn.
It's Lin-Manuel Miranda, by the way,
Yeah.
for anyone who is not aware.
Who else would it be? Yeah.
For any of you
Honestly.
happy people out there that didn't take theater.
For any of you straight-minded people who are not in the theater, this
The
is what we're
theater
talking
world.
about.
Fortunately,
God, I
you're not in the
envy you.
theater world, and keep it that way.
We
For
don't
your own
want
sake.
you here, actually.
No, just for your own mental health. It's best. But anyways, Torsi, you. What's beauty to you?
So back to the we're not really strangers game. One of the questions is like, what is love to you? And I like what Jules said about how like beauty is love, but like not the love that you would think. But I said my answer to like what is love is like I think of the moon when I think of love, and I think the moon is beauty to me too, just because like if beauty is love, which I like that take, then I love the moon, and the moon kind of connects to everything in my life, and I like to think that everything in my life would eventually be beautiful, like not like physically, but like beautiful in a spiritual, like everything is good way.
I think I said like sunshine or something.
Yes. Cesar
Yeah.
said, yeah.
Yeah, you were like warm.
Warmth.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like
Get on the mic.
Get on the fucking mic.
I think that sometimes it's hard to explain, but there is like a warmth. Like sometimes, like I think you need to catch yourself in a moment where you feel loved, and it'll like trigger a sense of warmth within you. I don't know if y'all have experienced that.
Yes.
But that's why I said sunshine, and also it's tied to like a song. But
What's
that's
sunshine of your love?
no, you are
My
my
cream.
sunshine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, dun dun.
Oh my gosh. He would Cesar would be a great wait, do you go by they?
No.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, you would be a great ASMR person.
Oh.
Don't you think that?
Oh my, that's literally what we do before every podcast.
Are you serious?
Every
How we warm
podcast.
up.
Yeah, all 2 of the podcasts so far. 3 technically.
Technically
All
4 if
of
you want to count the pre-show.
The vast
Yeah.
library of the podcast.
Yeah, no, there's like at least 5 minutes of recordings of Cesar and I going into the mic. It's pretty atrocious.
Damn. Wow. Beauty. Man, guys, we're really just like in the depths of our brains.
Isn't this awesome?
Yeah, I love it. I'm having so much fun.
It's so...
Yeah.
You know what I love? Passion.
Same. Literally same. People being passionate about shit is like erotic.
I'm
Do you know what I
telling
mean?
you.
Oh
Yes.
my god. I
Okay.
love y'all. I'm just gonna say I love you.
I love you.
I love you guys so much.
you.
I love all of you.
Wow, get in this,
Get in
Cesar.
there.
Get in this bitch.
I feel excluded.
Wait.
Let me...
Oh my god, you're pulling
Would-
a Mars and I and trying to wrap your legs around me. What is that?
You know what? Here, I'll just... Hold up.
Are we all having like a...
Are we hugging? Are we about to kiss right now?
we about to kiss
We're about to kiss in the podcast?
Oh my god.
What is happening?
We're hugging, guys. I love y'all.
Hi, Carmen Mike.
Hi.
Carmen Mike.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love y'all.
I love this.
You
We're all
know,
visiting Carmen's mic.
Oh, listening.
yeah.
Back on my mic.
All right, we're all
We back, guys. We just had a little rendezvous. We just had a little.
But I want to kind of expand on the passion thing because my
Please do.
whole like being beauty is love. Passion I cannot say is love, but passion is so. I'm naming, by the way, this episode. I determined in my brain when you were talking. I was like, it's the Jules Conversation dash on being human with Carmen Hershey. That's the like official title. Mm-hmm. And I say that because I think, yeah, with Cesar, y'all are yeah.
Fuck y'all.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you know, yeah, y'all aren't here, by the way.
This is our show.
But with passion is the most human thing I think is imaginable. And I say that because I think, you know, being human is also being able to create, which comes from my art statement. But you can't create if you're not passionate for it. You can't love if you're not passionate. You can't do anything without passion. Because if you're at that point, if you do manage to do something without passion, are you really doing it? Am I wrong as an actor?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
No, I'm sorry. Continue.
As an actor, my whole thing is I'm not a method actor, but in order for me to play a part, I have to completely like immerse myself in what they're saying. And so one of the roles that I played was Audrey 2 in Little Shop of... Yeah. I'm not a murderous plant. But there were thoughts that I had sometimes that were like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
Like, for those of you not in theater can be, like, it's intense. It's an art. It's a very human art. But to want to completely be that character, to give it your all, and to do what I find is, like, truly art, I feel like I have to embody that character. And I feel like, is it wrong to do that for a bad character?
That's the question. Like, I think every character has to be relatable to an extent, which can be horribly triggering in, like, certain cases. Like, I don't know if you read the play I gave you, but I let Jules borrow one of my favorite plays called People, Places, and Things, and it's about this woman who's, like, very, very, very addicted to many, many drugs. Yeah. And she has, like, this whole long speech, and it's, like, the big climax of the show, where it's basically just, like...
What?
It's basically her, like, talking about, she's like... Sorry, Cesara on the mic. But it's basically her talking about this, like, horrible things that she's done, and, like, whether or not life matters. And the play itself is, like, incredible. But the first time I read it, the idea was that we would perform it next year at my school. And I remember thinking, like, if I got cast as this character, things would not go well in my life. Like, because I know that I would, like, do what Jules did and, like, internalize that person and her character so much that I would, like, make myself unwell. So I was like, never mind, maybe we shouldn't do this play. But every time I read it, I'm like, oh man,
damn, it challenges you. Wow.
Did you ever have an experience like that with any of your roles?
No, I'm gonna say no. Like, I definitely I don't know, it's hard to say, but I do think the best art does challenge you, you know? Cesar is showing photos of...
He's going to go get Subway in the middle of our recording. Cesar, can you also crack the door open? It's hot as a mug.
Really, it's dying.
Oh my gosh.
It's cooler.
It's getting hot in here. But, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think I did. But, yeah. I don't know.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Not to... Yeah, and that's okay. In fact, I'm
I think that's probably good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also not to bring up BoJack Horseman, but I think that it's a relevant point because shows like that are they're important shows, but they're also designed to bring attention to unwell people. But in a way, they kind of pull this thing where they make unwell people worse. Because the entire point of BoJack Horseman is that you relate to BoJack Horseman. Like, that's the entire point of the show, is that you're supposed to relate, at least on some level, to every single character in the show. Which is horrifying when you watch it. Like, it's easy to say that when you're not, like, in it, like, watching the show. But you watch the show and you're like, man, he's just like me. And then the next episode, they do something, like,
terrible,
horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, BoJack sexually assaulted an underage girl. Almost. Like, Diane does horrible things to her husband, and, like, every single episode you're like, man, they're just like me, and it's like, ooh, that's not good, but you're designed to feel
that way. Yeah. You know, now that I've thought about it, I will say I don't think I've had the experience where I become so immersed in a character that, you know, it scares me or anything, but I do find that the act of acting can be satisfying because you get to be someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure y'all know that very well. You know, but during Grease, actually, like, it was in the middle of rehearsals. It was like, it wasn't, you know, but my dad basically had a heart attack, like, while, like, a few weeks out from the show. Or not a few weeks out, maybe like a month, you know? But it was my first, like, real show, actually. So, like, I hadn't quite, like, broken through yet. Like, I've always felt that I have this, like, this ability within me, or, like, this fire or whatever. I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to say. And I had not tapped into that yet because I was just anxious and, like, I was, like, a newcomer. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But my dad had a heart attack. He's fine. He's perfectly healthy now. He's alive. But, like, you know, it's, like, a thing of the past at this point. But I remember deciding, you know, the director saying, hey, you can, like, go home. Like, you don't have to be at rehearsal today or whatever. But I'm just like, this was, like, the day after it happened, by the way. But But I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay. And like that was like the day that I broke through, where it's like I finally like got into it. You know what I mean? I finally got to the character, and like the director's like, Carmen, that was really good. Like that was the best you've done, that scene. And you just like got it like that. And I'm like, and I think it was because I wanted to be someone else so badly in that moment in time. I did not want to deal with my life. You know, it was too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that escapism is something where it's like, I'm not becoming the character necessarily, but I'm finding it very fulfilling to be someone other than myself.
Yeah.
You know? So that's just a thought on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
We keep kind of joking about it. Is acting sad?
Well, Jules and I have had a conversation about like art and the way it makes people feel before, and we tend to disagree on that, but I think acting is different than a lot of other art, because I think there is a sad element to acting, but like I don't think the act of acting
It's sad.
Is necessarily sad, but I think a lot of people that love it tend to be, just because of the nature of the beast. Like the entire idea of it is to be not yourself, and that's
hide.
like kind of a scary, when you say it like that, that's kind of like a scary art form that we've created. But yeah, you know, because it's especially with like play acting, where it's like you're on stage and if you mess up, you are yourself, and that's kind of like the worst thing you could do is be yourself on a stage, because that means you messed up the performance. Whereas like with film, you can just do a retake, it's fine. But like with actual theater acting, like that's not what you want to be.
That's facts, man. Are we having an
I feel like
existential crisis
I feel like
right
I'm
now?
sending Jules down a little
We're
spiral.
spiral.
Hi, baby.
I was just what you said. When you're acting as yourself on stage, are you really acting? And I understood what you meant by it, but then I really started to think, like, for me, when I was playing Man in Chair in The Drowsy Chaperone, that's where I I want to say that's where I discovered who I was. And by saying that, looking back on it, it wasn't acting. It was just me reading lines on stage. However, but that's, like, scary to think about, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, what differentiates me from the character then? At all.
Right.
Yeah.
Where is that coming from?
I don't like it. Why?
I left the door propped.
Cesar.
Well, we asked him to.
Oh, yeah, wait. He said, it's the one into the podcast.
Oh, gotcha. This is like a very legit setup.
This is crazy.
I know.
It took him 6 months to respond to me, but it's okay. It was worth the wait.
So, yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you, Torsi, for fixing the problem.
They are technically the audio manager. That's their official job description in the podcast.
Killing it. But yeah, keep going, Jules, into this existential hole into which we're digging ourselves.
Please don't fall into a hole.
I was about to say, I don't know if I'm going to be able to dig myself back out, because I have theater tomorrow. So I'm like, uh-oh. Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like me to add on to it, this is another thing I've talked about with other people around, so yeah. But like the fact, I shared with my friend Nick, again, Nicholas Gonzalez, hi. He wanted a shout out, hey. But like I talk about how like musicians are very vulnerable, and like being a musician is very vulnerable, especially a musician that like writes their own music. You know, because when you're acting, as we've established, when you're acting, you're always kind of hiding. Like, you're, of course, adding your own artistic flair and your own artistic interpretation, and you can identify with your character, but you're always still kind of hiding behind, like, someone else's writing or someone else's doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But to, like, write a piece of music and to share it with someone, like, that's deep shit. Like, it's something that comes entirely from your brain, and you're just, like, giving that to someone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know how like famous musicians, I mean, they're paid a lot of money, but like they like release an entire album that they wrote. You know what I mean? That comes entirely from their brain. Do you know what are you picking up on?
No, I'm following.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that comes entirely from you. And like you are sharing yourself with like the world, you know? That's crazy shit. You know what I mean? Very vulnerable shit. And like, of course, as I said, acting is not like any less of an art form or anything like that. But you know what I mean? Like,
it's different.
It's different like that, you know? Just a thought. Just something to think about. Something to ruminate on.
I want more art people on this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. I mean, I'd love to hear the perspective of someone who writes music. You know what I'm saying? Do either of you write music? Or do you have an idea?
So
Jules doesn't know this, but I actually do secretly.
Oh my god,
you want to
really?
get into that?
No.
No, please do. You don't have to share your music with us, but
Yeah, it wasn't like, so I played trumpet for 7.5 years.
oh my god, that was my first instrument.
Yeah. And I really loved it, and I was talking to one of our friends about this.
Ghosts.
All right.
Podcast
This
goes?
school's fucking
Oh,
haunted.
well, I have my ghost that follows me. I don't think he likes that I'm talking about this.
You did say Macbeth.
Wait, what the fuck?
Oh,
no, guys, I cannot
Oh my
fucking.
God.
No.
All right, hold
guys,
on.
the door just like closed.
Oh my god.
I'm scared.
No, okay.
Father Nathan, where are you? We need you to exercise this room. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, side note for Carmen, I do have a ghost that like is my homie. He follows me around.
Okay, that's kinda cute.
So yeah, that felt like a him move, but he is okay. No, I've told you about my ghost. I've told Jules about my ghost before vaguely. He's not typically like an active guy, but.
Yo. What the fuck?
Hey, buddy.
Oh my god. Yeah. Wait. Do you guys know Father Nathan? We need him to like bless this room.
I think that'd be essential. At least to have like something in here. Sorry. Your
Anyways,
ghost
go
gotta
on about your writing
He
music.
can't. Oh yeah, so yeah, I played trumpet for 7.5 years. And I was talking to our friend Mars about this a couple days ago. And secretly, I really, really, really love music, and like every day, I'm like, fuck, I miss my trumpet. And I vividly remember at one point, like I was like humming a tune that I had like thought up in my little head, and my our choir teacher, who was like our choir in high school, our choir room was right next to our band room, and he was kind of like, yeah, and he was kind of like, yeah, you know, she like heard me humming or like singing something outside of her room, and she was like, why have you never like sung for me before? And I was like, because I don't do that really. She was like, well, you're in theater. And I was like, yeah, you know, not my bag. But yeah, I for a really long time, there's this mask that I'm obsessed with, and I'm not going to go into that because it's like a long, complicated thing. But over break especially, I hadn't written anything in like 2 years, just because a lot of like I didn't care to like write music for trumpet, but I liked to write stuff that I would sing. But I like actually wrote something for the first time over winter break about this fucking red mask that haunts my dreams. And that was kind of the first time I'd written in a really long time. But yeah, anyway, that was like not at all helpful, but you know.
No, but I mean, even your reservations about talking about it shows how vulnerable it is, you know?
Yeah, my ghost didn't like it.
Yeah. Does your ghost not like vulnerability or something? Or
No, he's a good guy. He looks out for me.
I want to hear more about this ghost. So
I'm
like,
all for it.
yeah, talk about it.
Also sitting in the dark, just for context.
At
Yeah.
this haunted Catholic
In this-
university. Spooky.
Yeah, so I let's get into the story of my birth. No, I had a home birth. I was supposed to have a water birth, but my dad didn't heat the water up enough. I'm going to give you like the quick version. I was supposed to have a water birth. My dad didn't heat the water up enough. So true.
Fucking everything
so
up as always.
I was born horribly fast, like less than an hour type shit. And it was a very quick labor. So I was almost dropped in the toilet. My midwife like caught me because I was born at home. My midwife like caught me mid to like plunge into the toilet. And there was like, as soon as I was born under a full moon, and my mom always jokes that like as soon as I was born, like the room got cold. And I was like, wow, what a weird thing to say. And then like as a kid, I used to very regularly, like as soon as I could talk, I would very regularly like talk about like the guy that like would like be around me all the time. And my mom was always like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then we moved. So I lived in Boulder, Colorado, and we moved to Denver, Colorado, and I stopped talking about him for like a year. And then one day I was like, said something about him, and my mom was like, what? Like she had kind of forgotten about him, and I was like, yeah, you know, the guy. Like I had a name for him. I don't know what the name was, but I was like, you know, the guy. And she was like, huh, I thought like that was like an imaginary friend that you left in Boulder. And I was like, no, like he's around. And she would like ask me at one point, I don't know if she thought I was psychotic or like what she thought, but there was like a phase where every day she'd be like, is he around? And I'd be like, yeah, or no, or not right now, whatever. And then at one point I had like a dream. I lucid dream, and I always have. And I had a dream about like the ghost, and he didn't really have a face. He was just like there. And I have this weird painting in my house. His name is Johnny, and it was like Johnny, but he didn't have a face. It was just like you've seen Johnny. Johnny's pretty weird looking. But he's, I love Johnny. And I was like, yeah, it looks like him. And my mom was like, wow, what the fuck? And he's just always kind of been there, and like whenever something weird happens in my life, I get I can tell like something else is in the room, and not in like a scary way necessarily, but just in like there's something else here, and I get those scary feelings where it's like there's something else in this room that shouldn't be, and I've never felt that way with like whatever this thing is.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if it's a ghost. It's just like an
energy
presence. Yeah. But yeah,
that's really interesting. Wow.
I'm pissing my pants, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Damn. Do you yeah, that's a whole can of worms in and of itself.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Jules? Do you believe in ghosts, or like
I do believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was born here. And I have a ghost story that I'm not gonna get into because I'm playing. But when I was like really little, my grandma was dying. She had a cancer that they can't really do anything about. But I was too little to like acknowledge it. But I was very, very close to my grandma. And so one day, like my mom brings me over to grandma's house. She's in the room with her, but like I'm somewhere else in the house, and like everyone just hears giggling all of a sudden. And my mom like keeps trying to come check on me, and my grandma's like, no, leave him alone. And then eventually she's like, no, I'm gonna go check. And she sees me, like, looking straight up at something, just laughing, and, like, acting like I'm being poked and stuff. And, like, that was the biggest, like, I guess, warning sign. Because then, a month passes or whatever, and she passes on. Mm-hmm. But my mom says that I was not with her when my grandma passed. But when they came to give me the news, they were like, yeah, so, grandma's not going to be around anymore. And I was like, yeah, I know. Someone told me. Which was weird, right?
Fuck?
Yeah.
So that's my main experience with ghost.
Yeah. Damn.
But so yeah, you haunt much? You haunt much, Carmen?
What?
You haunt much?
Me?
You haunt?
Yeah, you got any fun ghost stories?
I don't know if I have any ghost stories. I've had a few weird things that have definitely happened at Loyola. You know what I mean? But I don't know because, like, in my life before college, because I've always lived in both of my houses. I have two houses because my parents are divorced. Both of them were built in 1900. So they're old. They make noises. You know what I mean? I also have, cats. So, like, if I hear a weird noise, I'm like, oh, it's just the cats. But I'm not sure that that's true necessarily. And that's a whole other thing, inner turmoil, as I said, just like the idea of spirituality and like afterlife and stuff like that. Or I don't know if I believe necessarily in an afterlife, but I do definitely believe there are like palpable energies, like ghosts and stuff like that. And I've encountered a few people that.
I'm sorry, Cesar.
He's locked out.
Yeah, with this
pause. Yeah. Well, now pause for a commercial break.
Yeah.
He's returning with Subway, but yeah. More on that later in a few seconds. But yeah, well, thanks, guys, for tuning into the podcast. I hope you're enjoying.
I love Carmen on the mic.
Thanks.
I love everything about it.
Thanks. I was admittedly a bit nervous. Sorry, I'm looking back at them. But I was admittedly a bit nervous because, like, I don't know. It's just like, I mean, I'm not nervous to be around you guys or anything, but just like have something that people might listen to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Isn't this crazy?
Yeah, it's wild that we're actually like real podcasters. We could be like those like incel guys that are like, yeah, I'm just a man, so like fuck women, fuck bitches.
What is the contrast here? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Are you saying this about all podcasters?
No.
You're about to get my show removed. Oh my god.
No, the Jules Conversation is not that at all.
What are they doing?
I don't know what the hell they're doing. Get the fuck in there. Okay, they're returning.
Oh, Cesar is eating outside.
Oh, probably so he wouldn't. Is he?
This is so haunting the way that's just like sitting there.
Is he coming back in or no?
He's gonna eat and then come.
Okay, cool.
Wait.
No, Johnny's gonna hang out with him.
That is not his
Name. That was the name of the painting that they mentioned.
I think, yeah.
But yeah, but anyways, Jules, how was your day?
It's been pretty good so far. I honestly, this is the only thing I've been looking forward to.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I had a good day, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm enjoying this so
This is
much. Yeah, literally. So, are you gonna do this every week or every day?
So it's a very complicated question. I just like making things, and I like the idea of having like talks with people.
Mm-hmm.
That's my passion. So I don't want to have a set day that I'm going to do this because as of right now, I wasn't technically intending to do this today. It was just going to be
Whenever.
Wednesday and Sunday. Those are going to be my days. But then I was like, well, does it matter? I mean, I can just talk to people, and I mean, I have this to upload whenever,
Right.
Cesar got a fucking banger sandwich, and I just want both of you to know.
Wait,
God
what
damn.
did he get?
I have no idea, but it was really good.
Damn.
You didn't ask for the. Can we get the sandwich log? on
Yeah,
that?
we need the sandwich order.
Okay, he said it. I just didn't really read. Like, okay,
We'll harass him about it whenever he comes in.
yeah, chicken, peppers, ranch, some other shit, and lettuce. I don't know.
Sandwich stuff.
Sandwich, yeah,
Yeah, like a
sandwich
Caesar
stuff.
sandwich or something.
Caesar
Caesar
sandwich for Caesar
sandwich.
man.
Wait, no, but do Caesars have ranch? Or do they have Caesar
They have,
dressing?
they have Caesar dressing.
Makes sense.
That tracks.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sandwiches
Yeah,
are good.
the ghost's name isn't Johnny. Don't call him Johnny.
What's his name?
He doesn't have a name.
That was just Caesar. I saw a shadow and I'm like, what?
Cesar!
What the fuck is he doing? He's looking for wipes.
So,
I love how half of this podcast is just like us asking what Cesar is. Cesar,
What is Cesar
what
doing
is
now?
on your sandwich?
Yeah,
Oh,
come
yeah,
to my
give us
mic.
the word.
Or not my mic. Fuck
Fine,
you.
that's it.
Ow.
Fine.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Bye.
What is happening here?
For those who like Subway, it's not my usual order actually. I was a little wild this time, but I got the chicken bacon ranch, which has chicken, bacon, extra lettuce. I would have got tomatoes, but they had no tomatoes. Bell peppers, jalapenos, ranch sauce, and buffalo sauce.
Oh,
It's pretty damn good.
That
I've only had one bite, but
that sounds banger.
that does sound banger. I was worried it might be a little too spicy with the jalapenos and the buffalo sauce.
Mm-hmm.
But
Good as fuck.
yep.
Certified good sandwich.
True.
But, yeah, for sound reasons, I'm gonna eat out there.
Okay, enjoy yourself.
For sound reasons.
Bye.
So professional in here.
Wow.
Literally. Were we talking about my ghost experiences?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was talking about. I mean, I've encountered a few mediums in my life. Actually, recently, like in the past, like 5 months. You know what I mean? And I was kind of skeptical to that point, just because I had never had an experience with like a real psychic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But one of them gave me a reading, and it was just crazy accurate. Like they knew stuff that they would just have no way of knowing about. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I mean, like, it was beautiful, and it was beautiful, but I mean, it was not scary in a bad way. It was kind of just like scary to be like, wow, you're seeing me. You know what I mean? Like, you're seeing me, and I didn't tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of weird to be like seen by like some people to know something about that you don't tell them. You know, but anyway, so that's like opened my eyes to spirituality and like all these things. And just like presences, and I definitely feel that spirits are real, definitely. And this person told me that, you know, I have a lot of like loved ones looking over me and stuff like that, because I guess the thing that I've struggled with is that some people have, you know, with big families, you know, like big Italian families, or like my boss at work, like she's this big Chinese family, and like and I don't have that. Like, all of my grandparents are dead, and like, or with the exception of one. And, you know, I have one brother. I don't really talk to my extended family, so I don't feel like I have roots, really. You know what I mean? But so just to hear that, you know, there are loved ones like looking over me is just like very comforting. You know what I mean? And I do definitely feel that, you know, and just like the fact that we are very much a reflection of our ancestors is just very beautiful. It's like, I mean, I never really knew my grandfather that much, but, you know, sometimes my parents will be like, oh, like, you know, I'll be interested in something and be like, oh, he loved that. You know what I'm saying? And like, even though it might just be coincidental, it's like, but like, you know, like, I don't know, it might not be that, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the example I think of is, I love Sarah Vaughan, like the old jazz singer. like I love her a lot, and my mother's like, oh, your grandfather just like was like loved her, was obsessed with her, and stuff like that. I mean, where it could just be a coincidence because she's like a moderately famous jazz singer. I mean, famous in like jazz circles, obviously. But you know what I mean? I don't know, just stuff like that. My brains, it's the time of the night where my brain is just unraveling, and so like just words are coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like more raw now than it like has been. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, so I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah,
you know what I
definitely.
mean. But so I do definitely believe those things, and I do think people think of ghosts and stuff as scary, I guess. But I do think like the idea of spirits and energies is comforting. You know?
Yeah, and I don't personally. I don't necessarily believe in like ghosts. I mean, I don't not believe in ghosts, but like less like I don't think of him as like a certain
Ghost.
person that like once was living. He's just there, and that's like, you know, and that's just kind of what I accepted. But I also feel you about like the family thing, because I'm not close to most of my family. And my mom always tells me that the family I would have been close to died before I was born. And it's been going on a lot lately where, like, I say something and she's like, God damn, you are just like your Uncle Eric. And I'm like, wow. Okay.
You've never met your uncle?
No, like,
Yeah.
he died long before I was born. But we listen to, like, a lot of the same music, and we are passionate about a lot of the same things. And it's super interesting just because he, like, never met him. Like, my mom doesn't talk about him much, but I have this, like, he has, like, my mom has his like senior Letterman jacket, and every time I'm in Colorado, I'm like, I'm gonna wear it.
Damn.
And she's always like, I look nothing like this man, and she's always like, I feel like I'm looking right at him, and I'm like, he was like
Damn.
6'4", and I'm 5'4", like
Like, Shadi,
but
what are you talking about?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
For real.
but
Damn.
I like how you just gave me that look like, all right, you're back.
and
Back to you,
back to
Jules.
you, baby.
What should we talk about next?
I have no idea.
Sexuality, maybe?
Yeah,
Was
if
that like a thing?
Well, I mean, there's no pre.
Yeah, I know, but you
topic,
mentioned it. I don't know if we were recording at that point. I don't think we were, but like
That might have been pre.
That
might be pre
Shout
the
out
pre-show.
About to say, if you want to
Yeah.
hear the pre-podcast, check out the Twitter. It'll be exclusive there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh shit!
You're already
Exclusive
starting
content.
Patreon bullshit. All right.
Yeah, pay $20 a month to hear just a bunch of
To
bunch
hear
of
us,
bullshit.
yeah,
Just bitch about Cesar for an hour.
literally. But
special episode of me alone in this room just going about Cesar for 20 minutes.
wait, how long was last night's podcast?
Not this. It was like,
was like
40, 50 minutes.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're at like one. Oh my god,
Yeah.
we're long.
we
Whenever
also
you're- or go ahead.
we also did like a lot of. We were pretty on topic last time. Like we were.
Yeah,
Not that we're not on topic,
Yeah.
but like we're also like like dumb little Cesar. Like we've done a lot of like what's Cesar up to and like unrelated stuff. Yeah,
right.
that like we may or may not choose to cut out.
Yeah.
I don't think we will.
I definitely
but
won't. I think the only thing I might cut out is, and I'm gonna have to cut this. You know,
Should we do like a proper outro or something?
there is a proper outro.
What? Oh my god. Okay.
Thank you all for listening. Once again, thank you, Carmen, for joining us. But thank you all for listening. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can always follow us on Twitter at JulConversation. That is Jules Conversation. You can also find us on YouTube. That's probably how you're listening to us right now. Please spread. If you want to be on here, hit me up. Let's have a conversation. You know? Awesome. And with that, good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. And see you later.